Hello, thank you for joining me. I am going to show you my 3D embossing gel flower. My name is Jordan Bailey. I am an independent distributor with GelMoment, so all of the products I am using are for GelMoment. To start, we have the 3D embossing gel. This is the white, as it says there, and this is what I use to get like the flower, the petal look. Dance Shoes is the base color that I am wearing, this beautiful pink, and so I need to use a little bit of that with this, and as well as Chandelier is the middle of the flower, so it's just a little dot that I need for Chandelier. I have a dotting tool that I use to make the petals and some of the dots, as well as the short striping brush and the small detail brush. So I just have those out just in case I need them sitting aside. So I already have just like my manicure here, but to show for demonstration purposes, I'm going to attempt to put a flower just on here and get the idea of cross of how I did it. So this is used a little messy but this is what the 3D gels look like if you don't already have one. Has this little small area that the gel comes out, and it's so thick that it kind of holds its own shape. So if you were doing like a line, it's super easy. You would just squeeze and pull at the same time and it's gonna make a line. For this flower, what I did was 5 dots. So we're gonna start there and just put a dot. It's sticking to me. There we go. It does take some practice with these. I haven't played around with them too much. This manicure with the flowers was actually my second time ever playing with it. But it's nice to know I can use it for more than just a sweater. So I'm just gonna start by kind of breaking these two up so that when I go to make it look like a petal, it's not attached to the other petal. So they are pretty easy to kind of manipulate. I'm just gonna bring that in a little. Doesn't have to be perfect. Every flower is slightly different. I'm just trying to set myself up to have it look hopefully what I want it to look. So this is how you would start. You have the 5 dots, and I'm going to go in now with the round side of the dotting tool, and I'm going to just pull those in towards the center. I have a cleansing pad over here, so I'm just wiping it off as I go so I'm not bringing more polish in, and I'm going to just pull it in. It does take a few kind of tries going over it and going over it and going over it till it looks how you want, but it's super easy to do. So we're just dragging it in, starting back at the first one, dragging it in. The more you do it, obviously you're taking off polish as you go, so you don't want to overdo it at the same time. And just bringing it in. So that's looking pretty good already. So I'm just gonna go in maybe with the pointy side now, just to kind of be able to play with it a little more without being limited to that round side. I'm just gonna keep going. Okay. Looking pretty good. When you start getting all your other parts to it, it definitely looks better. So this is just the beginning of the flower. Looking good. I'm gonna do one more swipe of the round side all the way around, and then I will cure it and move on. This is just almost done here. Okay, and one last one. Okay, so that's not too bad. Once I kind of move on, it'll I'm just trying to make those lines in the middle a little less harsh. Okay, so we're gonna go with that and just want to give it a cure so that it doesn't move out of place and it looks how I want it to look. So I like to use the 3D gel for this flower. to kind of get that more opaque look on the very tips, on the tips of the flower. If I did that with polish, it might not have held that rounded petal look the same way. Sorry, the camera keeps moving. So I really wanted to make sure that it held on to that look. Not to say that you can't do this exact type of flower with our regular polish, but it's definitely easier. So what I'm going to do right now is taking my small detail brush. So that is now cured and ready to be, you know, beautified, so to speak. I'm just going to take some of the Dance Shoes, which is the base color. I'm going to get a really, really little bit on my detail brush. I'm just going to put a little bit of that on the inside of the flower. This is going to help kind of smooth out the lines and make it less noticeable. If you wanted, I'm sure you could go in with a different color. Actually, let's try it. Why not, right? Let's do. Sorry, I wasn't prepared for this. I'm going to do a little bit of Keepsake, so it's a slightly darker pink. Again, you don't need a lot, you need a little bit. I'm even going to dab some off. And you're just going in on top of the 3D and just kind of painting over it. It's going to give your petals that more kind of 3D feel. You just wipe most of that off. I'm just gonna kind of wipe around the edges so that it smooths it out a little. It doesn't look so harsh. So with my original manicure, I did just use the Dance Shoe, so it's not quite that noticeable that I have color on the inside. But if you wanted to go in with a different color to kind of make that flower look like a different color, you definitely could. So I just put on Keepsake, but you could go in with yellow, you could go in with, you know, purple, like anything that you want to kind of give it a little bit of a slightly different feel to it. I'm sure you could do that as well. So we're just gonna give that a cure. I did a quick flash cure last time, so that's what I'm gonna do now. So to finish off the flower, I'm gonna go in with Chandelier and my dotting tool. I'm just gonna give that probably good. So just a flash cure because I'm gonna have to give it a full cure with the Chandelier center. So just a dot. I didn't need to put it on my mat because it's just the dot. And just very carefully, I'm going to dot it in the center of the flower. Just like that. Okay. And that's what I did the first time. So now I'm going to give it a full cure. Really make sure that flower is how I want it. And that's pretty much it for the flower. I did go in and I did a few dots on the outside and some lines just to give it a little bit of flair. And I used Meet Me at the Chapel. I still have my mini bottle, so I'm just going to go in with that. We're going to do a little bit on the mat here. And I will show you that with the really, really small dots on the side of the flower. I use the pointy side of my dotting tool for those really small dots and just kind of dotted them. So I'll show you that first. Okay, and I just went in and I did like a little bit of dotting around the outside of the flower, just like that. Okay, and for the lines, that's when I used the striping brush. Just kind of drag it in the white polish. These can be a little bit tricky to kind of get the hang of, but once you do, it's super gorgeous. but you can get done with them. Just essentially put a couple lines here and there for it. I did like a little X kind of feel, just something like that. And that's pretty much how I did it. Again, I did put keepsake in the center of this one just to kind of play with it a little bit and see. So it is slightly darker than the other ones that I did originally. But that is how I did it. So if you're interested in playing around with that, then I just wanted to make a little quick tutorial to show you exactly what I used and how I did it. I did cured that and then put a coat of Clearly Frisky over top, sorry. Make sure you always coat your nail art with Clearly Frisky at the end to kind of seal everything in and get that really good top coat. Thank you for watching.